Leo.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
On Leo.
So, I just wanted to thank you guys for, making all these 10 years, and Sequence Raid was awesome. So,
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, the attention to detail was just, amazing, and I'm so glad that you took the time to make it that way, because it was really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, even as, I'm not a hardcore fan, I've been watching for, maybe a couple of years, but in those couple of years, I've had the time to catch up and learn everything. So maybe some of it was lost on me. I mean, I recognized everything, but I haven't been watching since 2003 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was still really great. It was the perfect love song to all your fans.
Awesome. Thank you very, very, very much.
Yeah, so I'm really happy about it. And I had a question that kind of goes in line with what the other girl was talking about. Sometimes there's this section on Wikipedia called Mysteries, and there's a lot of stuff in it that's just unsettling. There's this thing called the Tom and Shutt case about this guy who had no fingerprints, and no one can figure out how he died, and he had this secret code in his coat. And I was wondering if there's any unsettling event that you read about or something like that just really that you remember a lot.
Something that was unsettling.
Yeah. There's a bunch, but I don't like to think of them at 10:07 p.m.
Yeah.
when I have to go home to Garrett's house.
I'm trying to think.
I think one unsettling thing is apparently there is a Russian radio station in the middle of nowhere
that's so fucking
that
cool.
is just churning out numbers or something like that, or churning out weird stuff.
Yeah.
And it has been since the 70s or 80s. And every once in a while you'll hear somebody talking in the background. So they think it's a microphone set up to a speaker and not directly connected, and it's just that stuff weirds me out.
I think they worked on that, or that inspired Lost.
Lost, yeah, exactly.
Lost had the same thing. For me, in a similar note, I'm glad you brought that up. The pirate broadcast that happened in the 80s of the Max Headroom looking guy,
was awesome.
and still to this day,
It's
no one knows
nobody got him.
how they hijacked the signal.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Oh, that the Ninja Turtles were inspired by Daredevil. Derek told me about that because they have the Foot Clan, the Foot Soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil's thing is hand. He fights hand.
Yeah, and Splinter Stick.
Yep. Think about it.
I knew all that from the beginning because my dad is the one who introduced me. My dad was a comic nerd. I went to Comic-Con when I was 5 at the Civic Center, and he was showing me, he's like, hey, Ninja Turtles is the big thing right now. Yeah, it's a lot of it is a parody of Daredevil.
I didn't know that.
My dad was big on Daredevil.
Really?
And so my dad, the first time I ever saw Ninja Turtles was he showed me the old comics. And he's like, yeah, this is blowing up right now. And then the cartoon aired, and then I was hooked at that point. What I didn't know, going back to movie trivia, do you know one of the most profitable, most successful independent movies ever is the first Ninja Turtles movie?
Really?
What?
I was like, what?
How?
And I read about it, and they were like, yeah, the first Ninja Turtles movie, if you notice, that came out incredibly quick when that blew up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, with any big studio, normally it would take a couple of years or something but Ninja Turtles had a movie in '89. I mean, that was the peak of it.
I mean, think about how long it took for a Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, at least 3 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And the reason why is because the creators of Ninja Turtles went everywhere to get funding. We just want to make a Ninja Turtles movie. And that's why it was dark, and it was, it kind of was not everything.
Not like the cartoon.
It was more in line. Now, there were accents added that were like the cartoon. Mm-hmm. They did end up having the 4 different colors, and Michelangelo was a party guy, whatever. But it was still entrenched kind of in the dark where the comic was.
Yeah, it was like Casey Jones. And
yeah,
was
exactly. That was all Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
Yeah.
And they got investors to pay for that movie, and they were working on it as it blew up.
Yeah.
And so,
I had no idea. That's really fucking
so it
cool.
made, worldwide, it made $200 million, which, hey, adjust that for inflation now. Oh my God, that's like $1 billion, and that was independent. They didn't have to pay. All they had was they had New Line Cinema release it, they distributed it. But other than that, they made it.
Really?
Yep. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
When it came out on VHS, it wasn't even through New Line. It was through Family Home Entertainment because it was just a random indie, label. It was an independent movie.
That's really crazy.
The second one and beyond were all New Line. Those were studio movies.
Wow.
And you could tell because then you get to the second one and it's a wacky kids movie. You know, it wasn't just some weird nerds making a movie. You know. Anyway.
That's really interesting.
Interesting stuff. I don't know what was his question. I don't even remember what I went off on that tangent.
No, it's okay.
About weird
I actually
conspiracy.
had another
whatever.
question. Yeah. I actually had another question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So Rocco, you worked on, in sequence rates with two different formats, with the new high definition and the mini DV tapes. How is that like? Like, how is combining the footage in Premiere or whatever?
So for those of you who don't know, the parts that we're in the old skits, we actually use the exact same cameras, the exact same mini DV tape stock that we've had for years. All the stuff was from 10 years ago. And I just thought that extra bit of authenticity would just make it, it's like you could film it in HD and dumb it down on the computer, but it just doesn't look the same as if you used a shitty HD camera. You could hear noises of the the tape camera. Mm-hmm. You could hear the noises, like there's the part where you're in Tetris, you can hear the fucking tape like grinding at one point. It just adds to that like 2003 feel. Maybe it doesn't to other people, but I know that it's there, so that's good enough for me. Anyway, as for how it was great because all you have to do, you edit in an HD timeline and just scale it up. Yep. And it was actually easy because there's parts in that footage where we had to do effects, the ads start showing up or like the Predator vision gag or whatever. All that was it actually made it easier because in After Effects, you're not working on an HD file. You're working on a file that big. So rendering takes 1 second, so...
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
so funny.
I was actually hoping that was actually how part of how I kind of sold it to Derek and Sean. I was like, hey, the parts when we go into the old games, we don't have to set anything up. It is handy cam, and then editing is going to take 1 second. And it was.
Huh.
That's super cool. Like, yeah, that's one of the things that like I really, really, really like about the sequence race.
Cool. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. It was a little annoying though because filming it on tape, it kept going reinsert cassette, dirty tape,
fucking suck.
And we were the whole time it was just like fuck tapes. What are we doing? So I'm glad that's over. But
yeah, thank you guys for taking my call. And I gotta say, Rocco, my last call we talked about Tatsuhiko Asano and how he went to Japan and you bought his CD or something like that. I checked it out recently and it's super good. So thank you for that.
Cool.
I really appreciate it.
I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, it's really
good.
good.
What do you think?
4 out of 5.
I was asking Eric what he thought.
4 out of 5, the perfect CD.
Oh, the perfect CD.
That's great.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Leo.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. See you guys later.
Take care.